Today is Army Day in Iran, a national holiday, and this year in particular, it's a show of force, as President Trump says military action against Iran is still on the table. Iran paraded its S-300 missile defense systems, the kind Israel claimed it wiped out in response to Iranian strikes against Israel last year. But even while the military here shows that it still has capacity, Iran is pushing for diplomacy. And for now, so is President Trump. The New York Times reports President Trump rejected an Israeli plan for joint strikes next month against Iran's nuclear facilities and air defenses.
I'm not in a rush to do it because I think that Iran has a chance to have a great country and to live happily without death. And I'd like to see that. That's my first option. If there's a second option, I think it would be very bad for Iran.
The negotiations with Washington have been endorsed by Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. President Trump's foreign crisis manager-in-chief, Steve Witkoff, and Secretary Rubio were in Paris ahead of the talks with Iran in Rome tomorrow. The main issue is Iran's nuclear program. Iran insists it's peaceful, but it enriches uranium beyond a level needed for civilian use.
Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. It's, pretty simple. It's really simple.
This morning in Tehran, we visited Friday prayers.
The mood in Iran is clearly in favor of diplomacy. And what's happening in this mosque is actually quite extraordinary. Many of the people here are soldiers, people who'd be generally considered hardline. But the preacher, at this very moment, is speaking positively about a potential deal with the United States.
There was little chest beating and no riling people up for war. But negotiations could be overtaken by events.
We're now in the center of Tehran. This is one of the main streets right in the heart of this city. And I've been here several times before, but this time the mood is slightly different. The government, the people here, not only have they been welcoming to foreign journalists and allowed us to come here, but they both want these negotiations that are taking place, indirect talks between the Trump administration and Iran, to succeed. The people want some economic relief. This is a very difficult country to live in. It is heavily sanctioned. It is difficult to get and hold foreign currency. Inflation is a major problem. There are power shortages. It is a hard place to live in a closed-off economy. The government is also under economic pressure and the threat of military attacks. Israel is often talking about attacking this country. The New York Times reported that President Trump just waved off a possible military attack that was going to be a joint operation between the U.S. and Iran, and wants to give this diplomatic process a try. So far, it is having some progress in the fact that it is still continuing. First round of talks in Oman, indirect talks with the Iranians in one room, the Americans in another, and the mediators shuttling messages back and forth. This next round set to take place tomorrow in Rome, expected to be a similar format, indirect, but with the two sides communicating, trying to resolve the nuclear issue. And that's what's at the heart of all of this. Iran has a nuclear program. It says it is peaceful, that it is for power, it's for medical research, but it does enrich uranium at a level that is beyond what would be necessary for civilian use. So the hope is that this process continues, that the hope here is that it ends the sanctions and staves off any possible war.